So good afternoon. My name's Steve Dozier. You guys know that I am the Director of Automotive Social Media with Abstrakt Marketing. Been in the business 20 years. Been with DME Automotive, had my own business in marketing in the automotive industry, and I've been with Scott and Brian. This is my third trip and the third adventure we've had. Today's topic's going to be questions. Oop, pardon me. Maybe. After I winked at you a couple times, today's topic's going to be questions. So the workshop today, you're part of your team. Anytime you see your team in red on the screen, please, everybody in the team, read it out loud, okay? If you see your number in red, I would like you to stand and read it out loud. Okay, so why am I doing that? Participation, right? Using trumps, correct? Keep you awake, thank you. Moving trump sitting. And paying attention. Exactly. So it's kind of forced participation in a fun way. Okay? All right, so questions. We are taught from like this little to answer questions. We're just taught to. You know, Larry, how many children do you have?
Oh, I have 5.
That's it. Perfect. That's it. Perfect. Joe, are you married?
No.
No? Who's got a wedding ring on? How long have you been married?
5 years.
How do you have any kids?
Yes.
You ever been arrested?
Yeah.
But not convicted. So, round of applause for my smoothie man right here. Thank you very much. So the bottom line is that we're just taught to answer questions. So there's a couple things about that. Talking trumps listening. We learned that in the other session that we had. So,
Number 1, people spend more time answering questions.
you both got it right. But I'm sure you're not the only number ones in the group. But thank you very much. You paid attention. So let's see if we can do it now.
The person asking the question is driving the conversation.
Thanks. Conversation. Right. In stereo, right? So again, people spend more time answering questions than they do asking them. And the person that's asking question is really driving the conversation. Okay? Number So, thank you. Sometimes when you answer questions, it can only come off as kind of defensive in nature, and kind of the only way I can do this is in a responsive manner. I can't control it, right? So there's certainly a relationship between questions and responses, okay? So,
How much does this cost?
perfect. Is that a question you guys get? Yes. Okay, right?
What is guaranteed appointment?
This is fun. I just go. Is that a question you guys get?
Yeah.
Okay, every day, right? Thank you very much. Is that a question you guys get? Yes? You guys get that too, right? I'm sure. Okay? But until you really understand why that person's asking the question, you can't really answer that question appropriately, can you? All right, let's take a look at that. So hold on. Pirates, go ahead. Just the bottom two.
How much does this cost? Because I don't see the value of your service, because I want a price break for a long-term contract.
Isn't that two completely different mindsets of the person you're talking to? Right? It is. Sales execs. Just these two.
Because I've been hurt before and don't trust you. Because I want to know the specific date and time of the decision.
Is that two completely different mindsets of the person asking the same question?
Yes.
Would you answer that question cold differently if you knew which mindset he was in?
Yes.
Okay. One more. Just the bottom.
Because I want to trust us because our closest competitor is one of the drivers.
Boy, the Los Ninjas are just all over the board. There's no stereo in that group.
So they can't read very well.
There's a poll. All right. But isn't that also two different mindsets in reference to the person answering the question? Would you answer the question differently if you knew what mindset the person was who was asking the question? Okay? So what we tend to do as salespeople is to not get into that. I'm, definitely a guilty party. Brian and Scott will tell you that I love to hear myself talk way too much and I should stop talking and start closing. But what we do as salespeople by nature is because we don't want to ask that question, we go ahead and give every possible answer to it. And we just keep answering the question in an attempt to find the perfect words, right? An attempt to find a perfect phrase or a sentence that the person I'm talking to will click with. Okay, but what's one of the trumps? Shorter trumps, right? And all of a sudden, I'm answering your question with content that you don't care about, right? Am I going to keep your attention doing that? Now, hopefully, that magic phrase that I find, right? Hopefully that's the first one that I say, or I'm lost, okay? So today we're going to do some exercises, and that's why we're going to break up in groups here in a little bit, but we really need to understand why people are asking us questions before we blindly answer them. Because we've proven, based on questions that you get consistently, that the answer would be completely different if you knew why the person was asking the question. Right, Cole? All right, so, don't do this yet. I'll do this, so don't read it, I'll do it. So what I did was I kind of came up with statements that I would say to someone if they asked me, how much does this cost? So my statement would be, Brian, some people ask me because they're concerned about the expense versus the value, and other people ask me because they're interested in getting a discount for a longer term agreement. Why are you asking me? Would that flush out both of those reasons, right? Okay, so what about this one? Sales execs, you don't need to read it. What's a guaranteed appointment? Some people ask me because they've been burned before, right? Other people ask me because they want to make sure that the definition is with the decision maker in a specific day and time. Why are you asking that question? Because you have a totally different answer, right, for each one. Would that statement flush out the reasons that the people are asking those questions, right? So here's what we want to do. We want to break out in two separate groups for each team. Your team PSMs, thank you. It's the other letter I was looking for. Your team PSMs will divide you up. What you're going to do is divide up into two separate groups within your team. You're each going to be assigned two different clients. And I want you to write down the top 3 questions that you get when you're working for those clients. What are some of the questions people ask you? And I want you to think through possible reasons why they're asking you that question and write those down too, okay? So the lowest number in each one of those subs teams is in charge. Write those questions, write the reasons, and then write really the statement that you would respond with that would flush that out. Okay? So is that everybody clear on the assignment? All right, so if you're watching the video, please pause your video, and you're going to get a lot out of this exercise. So for your companies, write down what questions you get and the reasons you think people are asking those questions, and then write down too what statement you would use to flush those reasons out. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. So first this way, if you're not completely done, it's okay. Nice job. Yeah, well, we don't know yet, but. All right, the A-Train. A-Train, where are you? Woo, woo, woo. So you've got two groups. The first group, the person with the number 2. Will you please stand up and tell us what we found out? And you're going to give me these pieces of paper, and I'm going to hand them back out. The first group, number 2. So what's the industry you're in?
This is mortgage. We do loan officer recruitment as well as realtor recruitment.
All right, so mortgage. So what are the top 3 questions that people ask you?
The use of top 3.
Yep.
Where are you located? Are you retail or wholesale? And are you a direct lender?
Okay.
Where are you located? Do you want someone that's local, or have you had a bad experience with someone not local? Or would you like to stop by the office? Are you retail or wholesale? Are you asking because you're looking for retail or wholesale? Or are you asking because you need access to both? And are you a direct lender? Do you want to know more about direct lenders? Or have you had a bad experience with people that are not direct lenders? Or would you like to know if the person selling you the loan is going to be the one servicing it?
Okay. So based on the reasons that you came up with that people would ask those questions, would you answer them differently?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Good job. So nice job. Round of applause. So what I'd like you to do is send me. Just give me these when we're done with the session today. I'll write them out and send them back out so we can all share each other's knowledge. The second group.
Okay. We had 2 IT companies, but we focused on bites of knowledge. And we thought the 3 common questions we get are, what services do you offer? Are you local? And can you just send me an email?
Okay.
That was a good one I'm getting later. For that, can you send me an email? The 2 big mindsets on that one are like, obviously the annoyed, like, can you send me an email? Because they probably don't want to talk.
Right.
And there's also the genuine intrigue of, can you send me an email? I want to know more about your services. So to phrase that one differently, Rob kind of patented I can send you an email, sir, but I don't think it would convey the message clearly. So if you had more intrigue, I could clarify through a better phone call, or if you'd like, because you're out of time, I could send you an email and follow up next week by adding both, just to find out if they are annoyed or not.
Okay. Is there possibly a more direct question to those 2 different people?
What do you think, team?
Are you going to read it or throw it away?
Well, you can ask them what they're looking for in the email. Specific.
Are you asking your team if you don't know?
Oh, I was like, Rob,
No,
really good.
you're right. Yeah.
My stuff down.
So there's a good one. So, a lot of people, when they ask me for emails, kind of want a whole history of the company and everything from A to Z. Is there anything specific that you're wanting me to cover in the email I send to you? Because that's going to give you 2 different people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, and it's going to help you answer the question more effectively. Great. That was a great answer. Great idea.
For the are you local question, we thought the mindsets would be they truly appreciate and want to know more about our local resource, or we kind of put the answer of they want to have an excuse to immediately say no. Like they're trying to find out if we're local so they can just have an excuse to say, oh, we don't want to talk. So obviously you can say, some people ask about if we're local because they're concerned about the response time that the IT provider would give them. Is that something that you're specifically concerned about?
Okay.
And that should weed out if they immediately say,
Okay.
yeah, we are. And then what services do you offer? That's kind of the vague question they might ask you, but they might be asking you genuinely, so to find out if we cover their need they're looking for.
Okay.
Or they're just kind of smart alecky testing your knowledge to make sure you know what you're talking about. They might assume you're just some
Okay.
bad salesman, like, oh yeah, what do you guys do? So people often ask what services we offer so that they can see if we specifically fit their need. But I mean, that's kind of where the thought would end. But if you wanted to fit both in the same sentence. I don't really know how we do that.
You're really close. So some people ask me that question because they have a specific need that they want to make sure that we can address. Some people want a relationship with a vendor that can handle all of their needs. Why are you asking me that question? Okay, great job. Good job, guys. Nice job. The executive team, sales team, the person with the number 4.
All right, top questions with me. First question, how much does it cost?
Okay?
Is that already have marketing money spent, or is it an issue of flat fee versus performance versus price and product?
Okay? So those are the two different reasons why somebody would ask that.
Right.
Okay? How would you understand which person you're talking to?
So, rhetorical.
That's a question.
You ask that question. You say, hey, listen, is this something specifically that you have experience with people paying it hourly, and that's what you're, for appointment, is that what you're looking for?
Okay.
Or is that something you want to stay away from?
Okay? You could do it that way, right? So what were the two people? One was looking for an hourly rate, and one didn't understand the value?
One already had, flat fee versus performance. See, that's the problem. There's 3. There's 4. Flat fee versus performance versus
Just like pricing model.
pricing model. Yeah.
Okay. Who wrote that? Who wrote that?
All right, you're the game.
What is your pricing model versus is the reason behind that question, as well as then I've already have my marketing budget in place, are the 2 different reasons.
Okay. All right. So how would you better understand why the person was asking you that question?
Are you asking this because you've already developed a marketing plan and budget, or is it because you're curious to find out about our pricing model?
Okay, there you go. That would help you. Good job.
Number 2 is, who else do you work with, and or can I talk with references?
Okay.
And first reason behind that is they want to know if you have experience within that specific industry.
Okay.
Second is, are you legitimate? So it's sort of a trust
Sure.
issue.
Okay.
So, way to ask that question is, are you asking this because you want to know what type of experience we have in this industry?
Okay.
Or is it because I'm calling you out of the blue and frankly you just don't trust me?
That's a great idea. No, and that's okay. I love being straightforward, right? There's no better way than being straightforward and right at you. Okay, so those are 2 good ideas. Do we have references? Because I heard John today, and Brian and I and Scott have all had references of our company, but sometimes the references literally call us up and say, stop, man, stop, right? I mean, I can't get any work done. So you can also address that. I can certainly tell you who works with us. Just like you, once you start working with us, you wouldn't want to be busy by 20 calls a day on references. So maybe I have a video, maybe I have an audio, but do you really think I'm going to send you a bad reference? Okay, so are you going to make your decision based on what the reference says or based on what you think about what we're doing? Okay, that can flush that out too. All right? Nice job. Pirates. The pirates. Arr. The number 1. Oh, you wrote it? Okay, good enough. Good enough. Yeah, what number are you?
I'm number 1.
The number 1 at the Pirates. Please get up and read this. I just like to be in control a little bit. That's all.
All right, so we had Anderson Material Handling, and then we had Clearwinds Technology, so IT and material handling. For
Okay.
material handling, the 3 questions we came up with was, what manufacturers do you work with? How long have you guys been in business? And what services do you provide?
Okay?
The reasons what we came up with for the first question, what manufacturer do you work with, was that either the person had a bad experience with a certain manufacturer, or they only deal exclusively with one.
Okay?
The second, how long have they been in business? The reason they would ask that would be to find out how reputable we are, and then also to find out, are we a a national brand instead of a local, or vice versa.
Okay?
And so, and then the third question, what services do we provide? The reason why they would ask that would be, they want to see what value we bring to the table, and then see how versatile we could be
Okay.
as a material company.
So let's go backwards. What was the third question again?
What services do you provide?
And what statement would you respond with to better understand the type of question you're getting or the reason behind the question?
So, are you asking me that question because to see what we can bring to the table, or to see how versatile we are?
What's the difference?
The well, I guess there won't be.
And that's okay. This is something that you really have to think through. And you know, it takes practice to do this. Because you want to understand the reasons, right? What were the reasons that question was asked?
See what value we bring to the table, and then to see how versatile we would be as an organization.
Okay. So I would say that the same questions too. Go ahead.
I think that what we were going to say was one was financial, the other one was service.
Okay, perfect.
So that's what
There you
we
go.
were going for.
That's the value. I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm the slow one in the group.
No.
So how would you identify that? How would you flesh that out? Instead of just blanket statement or blanket response, you'd have to ask a question about that, right? Are you referring to the cost of our services?
Yeah.
Are you referring to the reputation of our company? You know, I want to answer your question the best way I can.
Yeah.
Okay? And I often start my response with that. I don't want to just verbally regurgitate over you, Larry. So are you asking that question because or because? I want to give you the best answer. Okay? Tell them what you're doing. Because really what you're doing is trying to provide them the best service you can by answering their question to the best of your ability. Right? That's what you're trying to do.
All right, then the second one would be how long we've been in business, and the reason what we would say that to come back with that would be that is the reason why you're asking me that question to find out how reputable we are, or to see if we're a national brand instead of a local brand.
Okay? Very good.
So, and then what manufacturer do we work with? Is the reason why you're asking me that question to find out, you know, because you had a bad experience with a certain manufacturer, or is it because you deal only with a certain manufacturer?
Okay, very good. So you're trying to flesh out the reason why that person's asking you this question. And again, the reason you're doing that is because we want to answer their question to the best of our abilities, right? We've already proven with several different examples and up here that we would answer the question completely differently if we understood why they were asking the question. So that's our goal, is to answer the question to the best of our ability to give the best service we can give. The Pirates went. A-Train went. What? The Wolves of Wall Street have not gone. That's right. Are you the Wolf of Wall Street?
Yep.
You pointed to her? Nope, she is.
For our HVAC company, we did where are you located? That question because they think that we're too far for response time, not quick enough, and where they only work with local companies. So are you asking because you're concerned about response time, or do you only work with local businesses?
Okay.
Our second question was what services do you provide? They want to know if we handle plumbing, backflow, kind of maintenance stuff, or they want to know if we can do custom work. Are you asking because you want to know if we can handle all your needs, or do you want to know if we can help with a customized project?
Okay. So great. So those are great responses to those two questions because they're two different kind of, I don't want to say people, but two different intent of asking that question. All right. So who is, I think all the groups have gone back there? Have all the groups gone?
Yeah.
All right. So when we talk about this, we're going to write these out and go through them. And so instead of doing it here. So before you just automatically answer a question, And this is very difficult to do. You have to work at it, and you have to train yourself to do it, because we are taught from when we're 2 years old to answer questions. We just answer them. But listen to yourself when you do that, because what happens to your answer is it gets this long. Because you don't really know why he's asking it. You don't know why he's asking, what's our guarantee? So I'm going to tell you that it's a date and time. It's a specific date and time with a person that's a decision maker on a list that you get. My guarantee means that if I don't make it, I'm going to continue calling until I do. My guarantee means that it's all recorded so you can listen to it. So you're going to give as many answers as you can to that question, trying to fish out, trying to find the best response. But shorter trumps longer. So, as I said before, John, if I'm going to give an answer that's this long, I better hope that the person that's asking the question was asking it because of the first statement. Because if they weren't, I'm going to lose them. They're going to get bored, right? They might not even hear the answer that I have. Okay? So, also remember, the person asking the questions is the person driving the conversation. Okay? So when you flip that around, in an effort to give better customer service, to answer the question to the best of your ability, you're also taking back control of that conversation. You're not letting go of it. So I don't want you to not answer the questions, okay? But you're not letting go of the lead because you're understanding how to best answer the question. Okay, and then questions, be quick and to the point. That's why you're doing this. That's why I'm asking you why you're asking this question, so I can not verbally regurgitate all over you and I can get to the point, okay? Because if I have a shorter answer, they're going to remember it more if I have a long one, right? So today in this session, what trumps did we use? Because again, using these trumps when you're on the phone will also help you with retention. Because if they don't remember what you say, it doesn't really matter what you say, right? So what trumps have I used in today's workshop?
Shorter is better than long.
Shorter is better than longer. That's correct. What other one?
Be the one asking questions.
Okay, that's be the one asking questions. That's a trump. But the trump is talking trumps listening, right? Because I'm getting them to talk. What other one did we use?
Standing trumps sitting.
Pardon me?
Standing.
Movement trumps sitting. Okay, it's scientifically proven. The more oxygen you get to the brain, the more the brain will retain. And it literally is just standing up. Okay, we also use different trump same. Because the last time I didn't have numbers and I didn't have signs, things like that, because I wanted to keep you engaged at all times, right? So when you're in a session like this, just as if you're on the phone, because I believe in SAS. Someone's always selling, whether it's you're selling the kids what movie you want to go to, or the kids selling you how much popcorn they want when they get there. Someone's always selling. And the ones that remember the techniques and how to do it best are the parents that will buy the medium-sized popcorn without the 10 flavors on top, right? Just because it's the right thing to do, okay? So different trumps saying, writing trumps reading, talking trumps listening, and movement trumps sitting are what we use to do that. For the trainers out there, sales managers and trainers, we divided people up into groups of 4 at max 5. You never want to go over 5. If you go over 5, there's going to be an alpha that's going to take control of that group, and you're not going to accomplish what you want to accomplish. So you never have a group over 5. We handed numbers out so we could randomly get people to participate without calling individual people out and having a team atmosphere with it and being able to randomly do it. Okay? And most importantly, you're going to learn more from you than you are from me. So what I did was set up an environment where you're teaching each other. Okay? So those are all skills that you wanted to adapt and use in your teams and in your conversations and meetings. All right? Anybody have any questions for the group, for the PSMs. For the PSMs that wrote down your questions and responses, please give those to me. We will get them in the PowerPoint and hand them out. Does anyone have any questions? Who can tell me 2 of the ground rules?
No smoking.
There you go. All right. There you go. One conversation. It doesn't count if you're reading it. All right, guys. Thank you all very much. Everybody have a great day.